You know what I like the most? Tech problems and tech fixing. Jesus, that's obnoxious. Just trying to make sure. Let me tell you, I had to do some funky shit there to fix that. So that's fun. Cool. Were you concerned I wouldn't be able to get it fixed? Were you concerned that I'd get to a point where I would just say fuck it and cancel tonight? Now, what caused the problem? I have no fucking idea. No way to know. No way to know. But, yeah. Less than ideal for sure. Now I'm all out of sorts. Goddamn. Alright, so we played with Bit Buddy there earlier, and now we're gonna play some Phoenix Wright. Everything is okay. We're fine. Things couldn't be running any smoother. Couldn't be smoother, I tell ya. This is the quality you expect from this stream. Okay, so episode 3 is where we're starting tonight. We're 2 episodes in. A certain someone told me that this is where the game really picks up. 2 chapters in. Once you're 2 chapters done, then the game really picks up here. So it better be the case. Graw, you have disgraced me for the last time, Steel Samurai. The pale moon in the sky cries for your blood. Oh. Oh. The moon? No, it is you who should gaze upon the moon, for it will be the last moon you ever see. Bonk, 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 bonk. Bonk, bonk. See you in hell, evil magistrate. Whoa! Graw! The warrior's swords gleam and strike in the moonlight. One has fallen, but who? Only the moon knows. Don't miss next week's exciting episode. The Dark Messenger returns. Code 14, 531. Wright and Co. Law Offices. No GBA resolution. Are you calling what was happening to the screen earlier GBA resolution, or are you making a joke about the up-res graphics for this like remaster thing? Who was it here? Someone, was it chat or was it someone else or something I read that was like they didn't like the new the graphics tighten up the graphics on chapter 3 of this like port. God, I should have just played it in the shitty resolution. That would have been a fun Friday night stream. Dude, okay, this has nothing to do with it, but nothing to do with the current stream. But in the last 2 days, I ended up just not blowing necessarily, but using a lot of money in quick succession for different things, and I've felt immediate regret for the past 24 hours. I bought some clothes, and then I had to buy and ship a new controller because the PS5 controller that I had not working great. So I had to, especially for tonight's stream, had to get a new controller to myself before the stream ended, or the stream started tonight. So I had to not really quick ship, because I got it taken care of Wednesday, and then it got shipped, and it came to me today. But, like, a new controller, and that shit's expensive. And then fucking go get my car inspected, because my car is apparently going to get towed because my registration is more than 4 years expired, which is my problem. But I go get the inspection, and then the dude's like, oh, we got to put new wiper blades on it, or you're going to fail the inspection and you can't get the registration. I'm like, all right, how much is the windshield wipers? And then they're like, that's going to be $30 for the cheap option. I'm like, all right, give me the cheap option. Fuck, dude. I've spent, I feel, multiple hundreds of dollars in the past 48 hours, which, great. I'm glad I have the ability to do this when things arise. Some things of more importance than others. But it's just like, damn, the immediate regret you feel when you just have to spend any money. And that's probably, you could link that back to probably growing up. You know, probably articles and shit that look into the psychology of, like, the regret anyone feels the moment they spend any money on themselves for anything, whether it's a necessity or not. Just joking about the technical difficulties. Okay, that's what I originally thought, but just had to make sure. All right, we got Maya here. That rocked. See you in hell, evil magistrate. Whoa, stop waving that broom around. Oh, Nick, I didn't know you were here. Of course I'm here. What was that surreal show you were watching? What? Nick, you mean you don't know the Steel Samurai? Oh, Steel Samurai's great. He's only the most popular TV hero for young people. Young? Like, how young? 10 years old? Then what the heck are you doing getting all excited? How old is Maya? I forget. What is the... 17. Okay. Oh, she said right there. Hey, I'm only 17. That's 17. See? I'm a teen. Not like you, Nick. Hey, don't talk to me like I'm your grandpa or something. I'm only 24 myself. Then watch it with me. He's really cool. And it's really popular. When they asked grade school kids what they wanted to be, Steel Samurai was #1. I really worry about kids these days. I'm really curious to see what this Steel Samurai character has to do with the rest of this chapter or game, because I would imagine they're not just having this fun dialogue for no reason. Gramps. Don't call me Gramps. Well, the Steel Samurai's over. I guess it's time to close up the office. I guess. Wish we had some clients. We need some clients. A month has passed since my trial. Maya's murder was the talk of the town for some time. It's gonna bug me if I don't fix this. My God. This should be, like, ever so... Do I dare try to fix it? Like, this is what's gonna happen. If I do this... It looks like there's a smidge of black because I had to fix the resolution, and now I feel like it's not as shaved to the edge as it could possibly be. This is stupid. What am I even trying to do here? That's no good. Fuck it. No, go back. Go back. Just fucking go back. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter anymore. I'm dropping it. Oh, God. Oh, it's definitely Friday. Okay. But no one paid any attention to the Wright & Co. law offices. How am I going to pay the rent this month? Damn, no one wants to come in and get help from a rookie attorney and his weird underage assistant. Like, what? I don't blame anyone for being like, they're not really probably the most reliable help. It'll be okay. I'm sure some big client is just around the corner. Is it gonna be Steel Samurai? October 16th, 8:14 a.m. Phoenix Wright's bedroom. Bring. Beep. Hello? This is Phoenix. Nick! Maya? What? It's still early. It's the Steel Samurai. The Steel Samurai got arrested. Huh? You mean the guy on that show? Yes! They're saying that the Steel Samurai killed a villain. Isn't that what he's supposed to do? Yeah, on TV. Yeah, on TV. No, I mean he actually did it in real life. He skewered a villain with his samurai spear. I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. Just come to the office, quick, please, Nick. Beep, beep, beep. October 16th, 9:22 a.m. Wright & Co. Law Offices. Maya's here, watching television. Now for the morning news. The actor Will Powers was arrested yesterday. Powers plays the lead role in the popular kids show The Steel Samurai, Warrior of Neo Tokyo. He was arrested on suspicion of murder. Victim was Jack Hammer, who plays the villain known as the Evil Magistrate. Oh, we actually killed the villain on... So he killed the person who plays the villain in the show? Allegedly? His body was found still inside the Evil Magistrate costume. Samurai spear was also found stuck through the body. Police believe this was the murder weapon and are investigating further. This has to be a joke. No, 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 it's a nightmare. The Steel Samurai is over. The world is over. Bring, bring. Beep. Yes, Wright & Co. Law Offices. What? Nick? It's the Steel Samurai. What? Yes. Yes, of course. We'll be right there. Beep. Beep. Let's go, Nick. Go. Go where? They have the Steel Samurai down in detention. So what? So, I've decided this will be our first case. Great. Love it. Any ideas? We don't have enough information to make a case yet. Just admit it. You don't have a clue what happened. No! We just don't have enough information! Alright. Well, what should we do? What should we do? How can you just sit there and like that? We have to get down to the detention center and meet the Steel Samurai. Does she want to investigate this case or just do some sightseeing, I wonder? My money's on sightseeing. Okay. So, it's clear she's just gonna be... like... the annoying partner archetype for Phoenix. I mean, I guess that was probably pretty obvious from earlier chapters and stuff, but I was curious if she was gonna be, like, actually helpful, or if she was gonna be like, Phoenix, you're being lazy, because he probably is, like, being lazy, but he's gonna be like, oh, I'm so reluctant to do a thing, and she's gonna be like, you gotta do the damn thing, and he's gonna be like, oh. That's my impression of the two characters. October 16th, detention center, visitors room. Whoa. Oh. Whoa. What's wrong, Maya? That's him, in the flesh. Is that guy really him? What do you mean, that guy? Of course it's him. Will Powers, our client, that's him. Maybe I shouldn't be saying this, but he definitely did it. Murder, at least once, maybe twice. Whoa, 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 what are you saying? What, man, now, see, damn it, now it's the third part in a row. All three parts I'm going to reference Danganronpa. This is a problem. But in Danganronpa, you get all the million characters, and it sucks at the beginning, but then they start dwindling, right? And so then you lessen the burden of all the different character voices and stuff. In this, we start with a couple characters, and then we're getting more as the game progresses, and I gotta be like, oh, okay, I'm going to get, throw in another random voice for this person. Let's see. I don't know, is he a big goof? Or is he aggressive? Oh, that. Oh, I don't know what I was doing there. Yes. Something wrong? It's too much. It's too much like the gumshoe thing. The stereotypical detective gumshoe voice I was doing. No, no. This is getting off to a great start. I know. You're disappointed, aren't you? Disappointed? Oh, no. No, it's okay. This is the real me. When I got the part of the Steel Samurai with that mask, I decided I would never show my face in public until the job was over. It's the kids, you know. I didn't want to wreck their dreams. Oh. I guess it didn't matter. So much for dreams. I wonder what they think of the Steel Samurai now. Bwah. Bwah. Nick! What? He's a good guy. I mean, he's good. Yeah. He didn't do it. Alright, case closed. Maybe you could start by telling us what happened? Yes, of course. It seems like it was only yesterday. Actually, it was only yesterday. The cast had come down to Global Studios for a run-through. We went through a few action sequences at 10 that morning. There was a rehearsal scheduled for 5 o'clock in the afternoon. But when 5 o'clock came around, I can't speak, and the staff gathered at the studio, the evil magistrate was found lying in a crumpled heap near the set. Oh. They took off his mask and discovered that it was Jack Hammer, dead. He had been expertly skewered with the samurai spear. Samurai spear? Yes, it's a long spear that the Steel Samurai uses as a weapon. Maybe you could explain to me just what the Steel Samurai is. Nick, how could you say such a thing? I'm sorry, sir. I apologize for my partner. He's new to this and a bit out of touch with the world. It's like whenever a fucking... What was the thing that was brought up a couple days ago on stream to me? Our place or whatever. And I was like, fucking don't even. I don't want to know. It's basically the situation. Hey, who's new to this? No, it's alright, really. The Steel Samurai is the lead character in a popular kids show. He walks the streets of Neo-Old Tokyo, fighting battle after battle against the evil magistrate and his minions. Fucking damn right I'm a boomer, dude. The boomerist. No, I actually resent that. I need some fucking respect, dude. I could have just quit stream. I could have just been like, you know what? We're having tech problems. We'll deal with it tomorrow. But I worked through it. Like I said, only the best. Only the best quality here on the channel. Fighting battle after battle against the evil magistrate and his minions. Of course, he never really defeats the evil magistrate. Although, I guess he did defeat him this time. I see. Neo-Old Tokyo. Who comes up with these names? It's almost as weird as like names like Phoenix Wright and Jack Hammer. Now, where were you on the day of the murder? Well, that morning I came to the studios at 9 o'clock. We worked through some action scenes until noon. Rehearsal was to begin at 5 o'clock, but I was a little tired. So after lunch, I took a nap in my dressing room. When I woke up, it was after 5 o'clock. I was late for the rehearsal. I hurried to the studio and found everyone looking shocked. They arrested me on the spot and brought me here. So he was sleeping the entire afternoon of the murder. Some action hero. What will the kids think? I think I should probably check out the scene of the murder. Alright, Global Studios. I'll draw you a map. Wow, Nick, let's go! I'm willing to bet $10 she asked for autographs. Here? I see. Let me guess, this guy wasn't the top student in improv class. That's good. That's good. Okay. Nope, shit, didn't mean to do that. Main gate, go. October 16th, Global Studios, main gate. Wow. So this is where they make the Steel Samurai show. Awesome, aren't you excited? Old bag. Old bag. Hey, you there? I don't know. You want in, you gotta go through me. Sorry. We're, lawyers. Oh, yeah, well, that's great. I'm security. I can't do that. My throat's gonna hate me. And it's my job to make sure that gawkers like you stay out. Gawkers? Gawkers. Gawkers, sightseers, gargoyles, tourists. I know the type. You heard about the incident and came to snoop around. Youths today. Oh shit, don't you? Or do lawyers? I looked away for a second and it's just auto-scrolling. Oh my god, work. I was young there, my different, my hippie clothes. What are the youths coming to these days? Nick? Choose a don't tell me she goes beyond this chapter. God. Nick? Will I grow up to be like her? Please say no. I don't know. It's possible. Hey! Listen when you're being spoken to. Youths today. Great. I hate her. So, what do you do here at the studios? At Global Studios, we make children's dreams come true. In fact, in my younger days... No, you were a star? Only a little twinkle between the stars here, I'm afraid, dearie. Wow. To this place has really gone downhill, you know. But 10 years ago now, that was a studio of dreams. Hammer was a big star back then, too, he was. Hammer? The victim, dummy. The evil magistrate? He's been reduced to playing villains now. Not exactly the best material to work with. Can't remove myself from this character soon enough. The thing is, as annoying as it is to probably voice, it's also probably like a million times annoying to hear. But like, once a voice comes out, we stick with it. Can you tell me about Mr. Will Powers? He's not a bad kid, but don't be fooled by his mask. You wouldn't want him on the silver screen without it, believe me. Little old ladies watching would lose their lunch. That's probably why he thought that the Steel Samurai was his big chance. No one thought he was capable of doing what he did to poor Jack Hammer. We don't know for certain that Will Powers is guilty. Powers? Of course he's guilty. How do I know? I know everything. That's my job. Why are you so certain Mr. Powers is the killer? I was standing right here yesterday, I was here from 1 o'clock in the afternoon to 5 o'clock when they found the body. Now the studio where the murder took place is to the left here. So if you want to go to studio, you have to pass by me. Only one person went by here between 1 and 2:30 when the murder took place. And that person was Mr. Powers? Yes, I saw him. But Mr. Powers says he was sleeping in his dressing room. Oh, I'm sure you would say that. He's no fool. But he was the only one that walked by. He's the killer. You can bet your biscuits on it. So what? She killed the person? She's trying to pin it on him? Have I solved the case already? What kind of person was Jack Hammer? What kind of person? Oh, if you only knew. Jack Hammer will live on in many hearts as the ultimate action hero. He was simply dashing in the Dynamite Samurai series. Okay, so immediately she's covering. I'm gonna say she is like Jack Hammer's aunt or grandma or something, and she has a vendetta against the other guy because he stole his thunder or his spotlight or something. Or she's just a rabid, weird fan. Is it best if I just guess along the case? Or should I just shut my mouth? He was simply dashing in the diamond. I read that. Should I have heard of that? But there was an accident during filming 5 years ago. He got an unlucky break after that, reduced to playing the villain on a children's program. What's more, I heard they were paying him peanuts. It's enough to make you cry. Isn't it about time for you to be heading home? There's nothing to see here. Move along. Actually, we're here at Mr. Powers' request. I thought you were suspicious looking. Show me a letter request. Then maybe I'll just let you read. This lady here thinks she owns this place, obviously. Fuck her. I don't have a thing. Hello? How was the studio? They all think I did it, don't they? No, not at all. Isn't that right, Nick? Right, not at all. At worst, you're a suspect. About the security guard at the main gate to the studio. Oh, the security lady. She's terrible. She called me suspicious looking. Yes, actually, she said the same thing to me before. I could guess, I've seen some people solve some cases in the first section, but never this case. Oh. Well, until today. Until today / tonight. Yes, actually, she said the same thing to me before. Take off that mask, were her words, I believe. She sucks up to all the bigwigs at the studio, but let her see you stumble once and she'll never let up on you. She's got some nerve. Do you think you could write up a letter? Damn it, it's not him. That's the first time we did that tonight. Do you think you could write up a letter formally requesting my representation? Of course. Powers' request added to the court record. Document proving Will Powers' request for an attorney. I just hope this will get me past that security lady. Mr. Powers, you aren't hiding anything from me, are you? What? No, I'd never do that. Earlier, you said that you were sleeping in your dressing room after lunch. Yes, like a baby. But the security lady says she saw you that day. She says she saw you heading towards the scene of the crime. What? That's not possible. I really don't know what to say. I was sleeping, I promise. Mr. Powers, if you want me to help you, you have to tell me the truth. I'm new to this lawyer business, and I need every advantage I can get. That's exactly what you would like to hear when you're depending on a lawyer to get you out of a potentially life sentence, is that they're new to the business. I know. I'm sorry. But I swear to you, on my mama's grave, I was sleeping. Maybe the security lady only thought she saw me. What did she see? He doesn't seem to be lying. Like I said, she's got some vendetta. Ma'am, have a look at this. It's a letter of request from Mr. Powers. Yes, I recognize the bold, childish scrawl. Powers' request given to the security lady. To think he would entrust his fate to youths. I think I changed her voice in between our visits with her. Of such unreliable appearance. Really? Really? Anyway, you may pass, but only left from here towards studios. No going to the right. That's the employer area. No one allowed inside out, were my instructions. The good detective told me himself. Hey, Nick. Huh? There were maps in the security guard station. Hey, not bad. Those are 50 cents a piece, thank you. Well, time to go, Nick. 50 cents. Guide map of global studios added to the court record. Let's see. What is this? Studio 1, Studio 2, a gate, dressing room. Oh my god, what the hell is that? What is happening with that? Okay. October 16th, Studio 1 entrance. We're gonna lower mic just a hair here. Better. Alright. And now for my Detective Gumshoe voice, which is 100% different than the Will Powers voice. Hey, aren't you that murderer from the other day? Ah, it's that confused detective. Hey, pal, you know Prosecutor Edgeworth is all upset and it's your fault. I saw him sipping tea and staring gloomily out the window. What is that noise? Are those birds? So? Hey! If he's depressed, it's all your fault for doing sloppy detective work. Detective? I think you hurt his feelings. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Well, I think his feelings are easily hurt. You're right, pal. It's all my fault. I can blame other people all I want, but I know the truth in my heart. Hey, don't take it so hard. There's always the next case. Yeah, I suppose you're right. Hey, what exactly are you two doing here? Well, we're on this case too, pal. Huh? Hey, you can't just go around saying pal like that. It's my endearing character trait. I'd say he's a character, alright. About the security lady. Oh, that sweet old lady? What a charmer. Huh? Are we talking about the same person? When I showed her my badge, she gave me a donut and some coffee. Remember what Power said? She's a sucker for authority. She even gave me a piece of valuable evidence. What? Fuck that guy. Fuck her, fuck this guy. So, how's your investigation going, detective? Well, it's... hey, I can't tell you that, pal. Nick, maybe you need to be a little more direct with your questions. Right, so, detective, mind if I take a look at what you got? What I got? The autopsy report. Latest version, if you please. Right. Sorry about what happened last time, pal. Jack's autopsy report. Time of death, 10:15 at 2:30 p.m. Cause pierced through the chest by spear. Why was Mr. Powers arrested? Simple, pal. The murder took place right over there in Studio 1. Now, the victim entered Studio 1 at approximately 1 p.m. At that time, there was no one other than the victim in the studio. According to the autopsy report, the time of death was 2:30 p.m. Only one person went to the studio between 1 o'clock and 2:30, and that person was none other than Will Powers. No one else, pal. If you think I'm lying, ask the security lady at the main gate. Nick, if that's true, anyone would think that Powers did it with that kind of evidence. Thanks for cheering me up. So what kind of evidence? Well, that photo. A photo of the Steel Samurai heading towards the scene of the crime. What? Who took that? See the camera up on that gate, pal? The gate? You mean the one with the welcome sign? Yeah. Whenever someone walks by, that camera automatically snaps a photo of them. Oh no. Nick, he has evidence. We're finished. Funny, for someone with hard proof, he doesn't look too happy. Well, what's wrong, pal? You seem down. Don't look so happy when you say that. Oh. We'd like to ask the employees here some questions. Sure thing, pal. Go wherever you like. course, you're not going to find any clues I haven't already found. Ha ha ha. Glad someone around here seems to be enjoying themselves. Nick, let's go. We've got a free pass to the place. Now's our chance to check things out. Main gate, present. Oh, do I have to, like... Studio mascot. I guess it's a monkey of some kind. But what kind of monkey has a nose like that? He's holding a sign in his hand. Right to Studio 1, left to Studio 2. What's up with that thing? It looks kind of busted. Oh, the wind was pretty strong yesterday and the head broke off. Took that tree down with it too. I don't believe that. Hey, there's a camera here. That's the security camera. Takes photos of people going to the studio. All you have to do is look out the data and you can see who went where. There's a number plate on the camera. ST1307. Must be the camera ID number. Entrance to Studio 1. This is the studio where they found Jack Hammer's body. Let's go in and check it out, Nick. Hey, it's locked. Looks like you need a card key to get in. Makes sense that they would want to keep the non-employees out. Detective, I'm gonna need the card key. Nick, look! That security lady is in the guard station stuffing her face with donuts. I guess all cops like their donuts. Yeah, and they're soft enough she doesn't need teeth to chew them. Fuck her. Hey, you! Well, are you satisfied Powers is guilty yet? She had to make my life harder by giving that photo to Detective Gumshoe. This isn't like a thing, right? What's that? You giving that to me? Absolutely not. Okay. I thought the game was, you know, he was talking about, the detective was like, oh, if I give the badge, she, like his badge, she respects authority or something. And then apparently I don't get the same treatment with my badge, so. Nope, don't mean that. Why didn't you tell us about the security photo, ma'am? Oh, that. I just thought it would be more thrilling to talk with the detective himself. These things are important, you know. Oh, just to the left from here is the gate with the camera that took the photo. It's my job to check the photos every day, you see. This guard station is in a central position. No matter where you go here, you pass by my station first. Now, poor Hammer, he went to the studio just before 1 o'clock. The murder happened right around 2:30. See, I'm losing my voice. I don't know if you can tell. I can feel it dwindling with this lady, but I refuse to change. The only one I see go through here between 1 and 2:30 was Powers himself. Security camera got a good look at him too. If he's not the one who did it, I don't know who is. If he's not the one, what did it? If he's not... Maybe it was you. Good one, Sonny. She thinks I was joking. Gotta put her on the stand immediately. Put it on her. Was the victim, Mr. Hammer, a popular actor? Oh, he was the biggest star in the studio. Was? Past tense? Oh, yes, he was great as the bearded samurai. That too, yes. He shone the brightest back in the day. Making a star like him play the evil magistrate. It's a disgrace, I tell you. Hammer took it pretty hard, and who can blame him? About the security camera. Oh, yes, the camera. It's automatic. You can tell when someone walks through that gate, see? Then it snaps a photo. Apparently, it records the time when it takes a picture, too. But I don't bother myself with those details. Details schmetails. I just view all the photos on the computer over in the security guard station. I check them every day before going home, I do. Employee area. October 16th, Global Studios, employee area. Nick, this is where they do all the behind-the-scenes stuff. Hey, look, there's Powers' dressing room. No one's here this soon after the murder, I guess. Let's take a look around. Let's look at this. Oh, I can slide. Oh, look at this. Dun. There's a sign by the dressing room door. Will Powers. Must be neat to be the star and have your own room like this. Your name just taped on the door. The door to the dressing room. It's not locked. Hey, Nick, let's take a look inside. Maybe we can find something as a souvenir. What do you mean, find? You never know. There might be something like the samurai spear. We don't need a spear. That's the murder weapon, for crying out loud. Is it some bones? The remains of yesterday's lunch are scattered around. Everyone was probably too shocked to clean up. There's a T-bone on one of the plates, minus the steak. T-bone steak. That would have hit the spot. Just had a burger. Yeah, but I have a second stomach just for steaks. What? What? Okay, what is this? The metal grate on the drain here has been taken off. It's a pretty big drain. Kid could fit through here, I bet. Yeah, if you snuck in that way, you wouldn't have to pay at the gate. Well, if you want to leave that way, be my guest. Right. Huh? Hey, I'm not a kid. Got her. Got her. What am I missing? Looks like one of those electric-powered bicycles. I don't know about these. I mean, what's the point? It makes it a lot easier to go up hills. Don't people cycle to get exercise? No. There's a half-finished backdrop for a stage here. Looks like a castle. Probably Neo Old Tokyo Castle. A window into the dressing room. The glass is frosted, so I can't see inside. Well, doesn't that suck? Let's see. Cola, candy, chips, gum. Huh? It's so normal. I was expecting some cool theme snacks or something. Popcorn, at least. Oh, wait, look! Samurai soda! Nick, try this. Ladies first. Okay. That must be the storage room. That's where they keep all the film equipment. Wow, Nick, you know a lot about the industry. What else would they keep in a film studio? Is that all that's here? Oh. The grate that used to cover the drain. It's a little bent. I don't think it would fit if I tried to put it back on. Scrolling. 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 There's a wall. No. Scrolling. Scrolling more. Is there something I didn't click? Nope. Huh. Oh, dressing room. October 16th, Global Studios, dressing room. Powers' dressing room. So this is where he was sleeping. Or at least this is where he claims he was sleeping. No one actually saw him taking a nap here, did they? Right. There's a picture of him near the crime scene. Hope he's telling the truth, for his sake. This feels extremely like another video game, where the case all hinged around, like, photographic or film evidence of, like, someone going to a certain place, but, like, they've got the outfit on, so you can't tell. And then all the dumb people are like, look, because he dresses as that character. That's clearly him who killed the person, Jackhammer, or whatever his name is. All right, let's look. Just one screen here. This must be Powers' bag. Hey, don't open that. Look. An employee card key. That must be Powers'. It says Studio 1. Let's take it, Nick. Borrow it. You mean borrow. Card key. Card key for studio employees. Grand Century Studio 1. Perfect. Who killed Hannibal? What? Huh? What? Looks like someone was sleeping here. Maybe Powers did take a nap here yesterday. No clues here. Oops. There's a vast array of cosmetics here. Oh, this is a wiggy used in Samurai Boogie Woogie. Nick, try this on. No. And how can you tell the name of a show just by looking at a wig? I, kind of like samurai movies. Kinda. Psh. Psh. Alright, I assume I can move then to the, kind of weird that I have to move like this. Wait, do you have anything to say to me? Ugh. The entrance to Studio 1. This is the studio where they found Jackhammer's body. Let's go in and check it out, Nick. Wonder if the card key we borrowed from the dressing room will work. Beep. It opened. Alright. Alright, we're in. She's way too happy for someone visiting a crime scene. Goodbye, Detective Gumshoe. October 16th, Studio 1. What is it? You're real quiet all of a sudden. Doesn't it give you the shivers, Nick? That white tape, it's so real. Well, evil magistrate did die here. Steel samurai killed him. Murder weapon was a samurai spear. Sounds pretty real to me. They outlined where Jackhammer's body lay with tape. His body was found still inside the evil magistrate costume. Guess that's why the head part looks like a helmet. Funny, I expected a spear stabbing would leave at least a few bloodstains. Guess the costume must have absorbed most of it. Hey, look! That's the chair the director sits in. I've always wanted to sit in one of those. Hey, Nick, take a look at that! One of those black and white boards they clap at the start of filming. And look, a megaphone, a real live megaphone. Ready, Nick? Action! This girl's more trouble than I thought. More troubled. Wow, look at the camera. That must cost a ton. Yeah, so don't touch it. Whoa, it's heavier than I thought. Hey, you, no touching that. Oh, who are you? Oh my, what the? She has a digivice around her neck. Sorry, my partner's kind of, you know. You know? No, I don't know. Who are you? Who, me? I'm an assistant here. I help with props and stuff, moving them around, ordering new ones, etc. We're lawyers representing Mr. Will Powers. Oh, you're WP's people. WP. Oh, Will Powers. WP. I get it. I don't envy you guys one bit, but do what you can for WP, okay? He'd never hurt a fly. He has to be innocent. Don't worry, leave it to us. Could you tell me anything about the day of the murder? Yes, I was in the studio the whole day. I was the only assistant on staff that day, you see. Only one assistant? Yes, well, the studios isn't going so well right now. And yesterday was only rehearsal for our action sequences. Oh, I see. I only just now noticed the old lady there in the corner. Or the security lady. In the morning, we went through the action sequences in the employee area. WP and Hammer were there, along with everyone else. The employee area. That's where Powers' dressing room is, right? Yes, that's the place. After eating lunch there, Mr. Hammer went to Studio 1. God, the fucking security lady is in every photo. Then I saw WP go into his dressing room. But I didn't see either of them after that. Can't speak. Did you know that Mr. Powers was sleeping in his room? No, I wouldn't go in there unless I had some urgent message for him. I mean, it's his private... What kind of a girl do you think I am? Ooh, what kind? No, I'm sure you're a fine girl. I'm sorry. Sorry. So much for getting a confirmation of Powers' alibi. What do we do, Nick? We haven't found anything. If WP was the only one who came to the studio, then he has to be the killer. They even have a photograph. Sorry. I know you're busy. Not really. Actually, there's been something bothering me. Ah. Aha. Aha, I mean. That's what I'm talking about. A clue. A lead. Well, I don't know about that. Oh, we got the intense music. But that day, just after noon, I sensed someone was here. You sensed? Yes, several times. Some other studio employees, maybe? No, I don't think so. The only thing we had scheduled was an action scene run-through. I was the only assistant here that day. I have a feeling it was someone from outside. Really? But wait, if someone had come in here, wouldn't that security lady have noticed them? Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry, I don't have any better information than that. No, thanks. That helps us a lot. Anything helps. Let's go put that security lady on the spot. Yeah, let's go fuck her up. So you sense that someone other than the regular film crew was in the studio? Yes, I think. I think doesn't cut it in a witness testimony. Nick, what about the security lady? Someone else came into the studio. She must have seen them. Great. To the older lady. October 16th, Global Studios, main gate. What? You're still here? Really? You look as though you've seen a ghost. What? I saw a suspicious look on your face. I want to ask you again about yesterday. You came here at 1 p.m., correct? And the estimated time of Hammer's death was 2:30. Are you sure that Powers was the only one to go through here between those times? Sure, as could be. But we have a witness who thinks there was someone from outside here that day. What? Are you absolutely sure you were here watching the whole time? Ma'am? Who was it? Who told you that? Who dares question me? Alright, you better tell me quick, you spiky creep. Someone's been complaining about the work I do, eh? We were just talking to the assistant in Studio 1. Damn it, Maya. Throwing someone under the bus. Her? She's not even a full-time employee. All you youngins are like that nowadays. Running it tomorrow saying that's the only one way I knew a thing or two about spreading your nose back then. It's a shame that you used today just go... She left. Well, Nick, this is our chance to do what we can without her looking over our shoulders. Time to beep on the PC. Computer that runs the studio security cameras. Nick, maybe we can see that photo of Powers with this computer. Yeah, maybe. Should I try the computer? Yes. Okay, let's give it a try. You know how to work these things, Nick. Looks like I just have to enter in a few numbers. Let's see. First, I need the date of the murder. Looks like the camera turned on at 1 p.m. that day. 1 o'clock. That was when the security lady arrived at the guard station. Please enter the number of the security camera. Fuck. It was, ST1. I think it was 307 or 703. Let's go guess 307. There, entered. Hey, it's printing out the data for that day. Let's see what we got. Oh shit, it's got a spear. Huh? How is this a picture of Will Powers? Well, he is the one who always wears that suit. Guess that's why the security lady thought it was him. I don't imagine the detective was very happy with this photo as evidence. Something's printed on the back. Huh? October 15th, 2 p.m., photo number 2. What does that mean? Maybe there's more photo data from that day. Nope, it's the only one in the computer. Powers' photo added to the court record. Hey, Nick. Can we use this photo as evidence for the trial? Yeah. We'll put that security lady in her place with this. Right, we'll put her in her place. Hey, that's what I said. Anyway, let's show her this photo and see what she says. Wait, let's not? Why not? It's never a good idea to reveal your hand to the enemy too soon. Nick, you're craftier than I gave you credit for. Why, you could be the next evil magistrate. Hey, why do I have to be the villain? Relax, it was just a joke. So, are we done for today? I think this photo is what we needed for the trial. Still, it'd be better if we had some idea who the real killer was. Maybe it really is that security lady. Maybe it was her. Maybe she did do it. Okay, day 2 trial. October 18th, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 4, Mambo number 5. Back in the courtroom. Court is now in session for the trial, Mr. Will Powers. Prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. Your opening statement, please. Prosecution will show the court that at 2:30 p.m. on October 15th, the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, killed fellow actor Jack Hammer in Studio 1 of Global Studios. It is impossible for anyone else to have committed this heinous crime. The evidence presented during the trial will all point to this fact. I see. Very well. I would like to move on to some testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, prosecution may call its first witness. Very well. I call the most familiar face, Detective Gumshoe, to the stand. Most familiar. Detective, if you would briefly describe this case to the court. Yes, sir. I'll explain with the guide map here. To understand this case, it's important to grasp the layout of the studio, see? This here is the employee area. The actors did a run-through of their action scenes during the morning here. This is the main gate to the studios. Security lady that works at the studios was here at 1 p.m. on that day. Past the security station there is a gate, see? Past that are the studios. And here it is, Studio 1. This is the scene of the murder where the body was found. Now, on the day of the murder, October 15th, there were only 3 people here. The victim, Jack Hammer, the defendant, Will Powers, and a young woman, the production assistant. All the production staff were in the employee area until noon. Then after lunch, the victim, Jack Hammer, went to Studio 1. Right after that, at 1 p.m., security lady got to the guard station. Now, jump ahead to later that day, 5 p.m., production staff came to Studio 1 to perform a rehearsal. Needless to say, the rehearsal was canceled. The time of death was 2:30 p.m. The samurai spear found lodged in the victim's chest was the murder weapon. That's the case in brief. Anyone like to hear that again? Should I listen to that whole thing again? No. I think I can probably remember that. So the murder weapon was a spear. How medieval. Samurai spear added to the court record. Spear was found stuck in the chest. Your Honor, this case is quite simple if you ask one question. And that question is, what did the security lady at the guard station see? Understood. I started to do gumshoe voice. Let's call the security officer to the stand. Will the witness declare her name? My, aren't you a handsome fellow? I'm afraid I'm a bit flustered. Your name, please? Oh, dearie, no need for you to be embarrassed. Just call me Grandma. Your name, please. Seems Edgeworth has a bit of trouble getting his witness to say their names. Wendy Oldbag, dearie. So just call me Grandma. So even when I was young and Oldbag, but now still the other children make fun of it. Believe it. But I was a boy in the cabin and he called me an old bag. Well, I just cried and cried. Objection. I object to the witness's talkativeness. Objection sustained. The witness will refrain from rambling on the stand. I was just getting to the good part, dearie. Perhaps we can get to the testimony? No, the witness was stationed at the main gate on the day of the murder, correct? Yes, I was. And to get to the scene of the murder, someone would have to pass by you. You know your stuff, dearie. You may begin your testimony. Sure is one hell of an old bag. Here we go. On the day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station at 1 p.m. Poor old Hammer and the rest had been doing a run through there since the morning. I had some errands to run that morning. But anyway, it was 1 o'clock when I got to the guard station. I was at the main gate from then until 5 o'clock. Now, the murder happened at 2:30 p.m., right? Interesting to me because a certain man walked right by me at 2 o'clock p.m. It was Powers, that man right there. He was heading towards his studio. You saw the defendant then? Very well. Let's begin the cross-examination. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. Alright, I immediately know what I want to press her. On something that she kind of just glossed over. This. What kind of errands? Oh, well, you know. Answer the question. Actually, I was watching poor Hammer and Powers. Observing, you know. Observing? Weren't you supposed to be at the guard station? Whippersnapper, I told you I locked the gate, didn't I? Did my job. Not sure your boss would see it that way. Anyway, I always watch Hammer's run-throughs. Always. Never missed one in all my years. Wow, I want to see a Steel Samurai run-through too. You could quit being a spirit medium and take up guard duty. Not a bad idea. Oh, so I guess that wasn't the thing. I don't have, like, things to really present, right? I mean, cause pierced through chest by spear, the actual spear, Powers' photos, taken at the gate between the entrance and the studios. It was one when I got to the guard station. At the main gate from then until 5. The murder happened at 2:30. Interesting to me because a certain man walked right by me. It was Powers, that man right there. He's heading towards the studio. Nick, doesn't she seem like she's enjoying this a little too much? Windbags love gossiping about other people's misfortunes. Ugh, can't you get her kicked somewhere else? Okay, so On the day of the murder of 1 o'clock, poor old Hammer and the rest has been doing a run-through. Interesting to me because a certain man walked right by me at 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock? You sure? Sure, a spit. Well, who was the man? Really, you should try not to get so excited at your age. You might strain or something. Now, don't get your skivvies all in a bunch. I'll tell you who it is. Press that then. So you saw Mr. Powers. That's what I said. Got wax in your ears, Sonny? Nick, this is your chance. Yeah, time to pull out the secret weapon. I'll say it again, it was him. Okay, so I assume then I present here this. Got it. Baby! Let me get this straight, old bag. Miss Old Bag. You've been saying since yesterday that you saw Mr. Powers, correct? But you're talking about the man in this photo, aren't you? Just a moment, Mr. Wright. Let me see that photo. What is this exactly? None other than the Steel Samurai, defender of Neo Tokyo. Miss Old Bag. Is this the Mr. Powers that you saw? Oh, of course. Didn't your mama teach you any sense, Sonny? And you can plainly see that's Powers, right? No, they can't. Well, I mean, I wonder. True, Mr. Powers does play the role of Steel Samurai. But that doesn't mean Mr. Powers is the Steel Samurai. Well, I know that. I wasn't born yesterday. No one in this court is accusing you of that, Miss, witness. He's having trouble calling her Old Bag, apparently. However, you do not have proof that the person in this photo is Mr. Will Powers, do you? Oh, nosy old man. Of course I have proof. What? Huh? Even Edgeworth is surprised. Prosecution would like to ask the witness, please make known all the information in your possession ahead of time. How was I to know everyone is so nosy? You should be ashamed, all you. Anyway, I showed that photo to the young detective. He told me this isn't any good as evidence, pal. He didn't even give it a second look. Wow, old Windbag has left even old Edgeworth speechless. She's good. Let's hear about your proof, then. Out with it. I never say anything I don't mean, mind you. That morning, during the run-through of the action scene, I saw Powers trip and fall. He broke one of the props. It was a big mess. Apparently, he sprained his ankle pretty bad. Now, look at that picture. You can see he's dragging his leg. See? Clear as day. That's how I knew it was Powers. Happy? Happy? So he had sprained his ankle. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. She's gotta be hiding something. I'll press her until she squeals. I'll press. Squeals like a pig. Like the pig she is. Say anything I don't mean. During the run through the action scene, I saw Powers trip and fall. Broke one of the props. It was a big mess. Apparently he sprained his ankle pretty bad. He broke a prop? Sure did. His own samurai spear. His samurai spear? The murder weapon? Luckily, I was there with my duct tape to fix it. This strikes me as a significant detail. I better write this down in the court record. Murder weapon. A break in the shaft has been mended with duct tape. Huh. Huh. smiling during the run-through of the action scene. Was Mr. Powers' ankle badly sprained? Not so bad, but he couldn't walk around. He went to his dressing room to rest up after lunch. That's the nap. Anyway, I saw him dragging his foot when he walked. Dragging his foot? Okay. I mean, he's dragging one leg. I mean, trip and fall? Yes, and to think he's supposed to be a steel samurai. What a laugh. So, Powers sprained his ankle. I helped make it better for him, of course. You helped make it better? I kissed it where it hurt. Let's just skip over that part, shall we? Where was the assistant then? Oh, her? She was cleaning up backdrops, I think. She didn't know about Powers' ankle. You may continue your testimony. Is it gonna be something weird like, since he's got the spear in his hand, if he does have his ankle hurt, then would he be able to put like the full weight on the spear? I think we've heard enough, haven't we, Your Honor? Well, oh, this is mixing all the old people voices. Well, there's one thing that bothers me. Which is? Where is the steel samurai costume now? Actually, well, we couldn't find it. We're looking, though. Anyway, it's not important. The witness did see the steel samurai, yes? And it is clear that the person in the steel samurai suit was Mr. Will Powers. I suppose that's right. You're sure, Your Honor? Fucking object. Hold it right there. We keep talking possibilities, but we have to agree that the photo shows the steel samurai. Nowhere in this photo can we see Mr. Will Powers. The fence has a point. I also wonder if someone else not caught on camera could have killed Mr. Hammer. We have to consider that possibility also. Then allow me to remove that doubt from your mind, Your Honor. Will the witness continue her testimony, please? No need to ask twice. Witness account continued. The time of poor Hammer's death was 2:30 p.m. True. The only person I saw go to the studio before then was Will Powers. No one else went there. If they had, I would have seen them. So, if no one else went to the studio, then would it have to be the steel samurai who did it? Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Go ahead. Cross-examine. It's 2:30, true. Only person I saw go to the studio. Holy shit, I'm yawning a lot. It's been a long day. Clearly. Ugh. Only person I saw go to the studio before then was Will Powers. Are you absolutely sure? Oh, quite sunny. Nobody's suspicious looking past by at all. Totally suspicious looking. Right. I would have seen them. Why do I keep thinking? Go to the studio. Old windbags sure as balls, or, well, you know what I mean. Old windbags have a way of skipping over important details after all, or, for that matter, entirely forgetting them. How convenient. Something for you to look forward to, perhaps. The only person I saw go to the studio before then was Will Powers. What about before you got to the guard station? You mean before 1 o'clock? Why, everyone was in the employee area before then, and I locked the main gate so no one could get in. Not to mention, if they had, I would have seen them. I like how it, like, I've noticed it multiple times now where they roll, like, when you press, and then they're, like, they lead the end of what they're saying when you press them into the next green line of the account. It's like those TikToks that, like, perfectly loop. Very satisfying. If they had, I would have seen them. I don't know. Are you sure? The witnesses answered the question. Anyone going into the studio had to pass by the witness. That's right, Sonny. You let him have it, edgy boy. Edgy boy? Old windbag sure as balls, or you know what I mean. Okay. Okay. Time for... I might have to go one at a time here. So 2:30. It's on the autopsy. We can't challenge that. Only person I saw go to the studio before then was Will Powers. No one else went there. If they had, I would have seen them. What am I missing here? Yeah, the only person I saw go to the studio was Will Powers. I mean, only person I saw go to the studio before then was Will Powers. I don't want to just blindly guess. They had, I would have seen them. Is that right? Hold on. Look at this photograph one more time. This photo was taken by the camera at the gate for the studios, correct? Yes, sirree, Sonny. So, whenever anyone passes by here, it automatically takes a picture. Annie, I thought you didn't know your head from a hole in the ground. Right. Anyway, it's also true that the computer in the guard station records all security cam data. Oh, you you know, if you wanted to work at the studio, we might have an opening. That very computer printed out this photo. Note that on the back of the photo. Wait, what? Note that on the back of the photo are printed the words. Okay, that's fair. October 15th, 2 p.m., photo number 2. Mumbo number 5. Even I know it means it was taken at 2 p.m. on October the 15th. Really, Sonny? Actually, I knew that too. The issue here is the bit at the end where it says photo number 2. Photo number 2? Computer only held data for one photo on that day. Don't you think that's odd? Shouldn't this photo be photo number 1 if it really was the only photo? Order! Order! Please tell the court what you mean by this, Mr. Wright. Actually, that's what I want to ask the witness. This evidence shows that not 1, but 2 people went to the studio that day. Yet there's only data for one of the photos. Who could have erased the data for the other photo? Only someone with access. The security lady herself. Me, you watch your mouth, whippersnapper. The only person I saw that day was Will Powers. But the camera on the gate fired twice. That means 2 people went by. Well, yes, that's what it would seem to mean. Can the witness explain this to the court? I don't understand these newfangled computer things. Edgy boy, help. Huh? Believe me, I want to, but I don't know what this means either. Some help you are. You're a whippersnapper too. Whippersnapper? Something the matter, Miss Oldbag? Ah, that's right. I just remembered something. Let me guess. Someone else passed by the gate. Someone other than the Steel Samurai. Well, yes, I suppose you could put it that way. I see. Your testimony, please. Every day after I finish my guard duties, I have one other important job to do. I go through the photos recorded on the security computer and check them. I throw out any photos that aren't suspicious looking, you see. Come to think of it, now I remember throwing out one photo that day. Miss Oldbag, it's the first I've heard of this. Well, of course, Sonny, I've only just remembered it. Right. Anyway, Mr. Wright, please begin the cross-examination. Well, I'd say this was a turn for the unexpected, but I kind of expected this. I just love that she's able to hang out in the court as, like, my partner. Like, it's never really explained, like, a moment where they're like, oh, why do you have that girl with you? And then he goes, oh, you know, I need a partner. It's just like she's along for the ride. It's just like, all right, she's just here. The other person. Every day, after I finish my guard duties, I have one other important job to do. I go through the photos recorded on the security computer and check them. I throw out any photos that aren't suspicious looking, you see. Come to think of it now, I remember throwing out one photo that day. Come to think of it, couldn't you think of that a little earlier? Classic old windbag maneuver, Maya. I can use all tactics to remember for use in my future career as a windbag. Let's find out more about this erased photo. Yeah, let's press her. Why would she have tossed out the photo? Throw out any photos. Press! How exactly do you determine what isn't suspicious looking? Oh, you can tell by looking at their faces. For the most part. But for the most part. This is a murder trial, Miss Oldbag. Well, I didn't touch that suspicious looking Will Powers' photo, did I? I think she's missing the point. Well, Who in the heck was that was in that photo you erased?
A fanboy?
Fanboy?
Steel Samurai fanboys. Real freaks, if you ask me. They get information about the rehearsals from gosh knows where. They're always hanging about. One was there that day.
Wait a second. Didn't you just say no one else could get in? I locked the main gate so no one could get in. Those were your words.
Well, if you must know, there's a drain that goes into the employee area. The grate has been loose for a while. It leads outside and, well, that's where they come in.
They come in through the drain?
I told you they were freaks. Oh, and they're kids, children, whippersnappers.
Kids? So, on the photo that you erased,
it was a boy, probably 2nd or 3rd grade.
What?
Order! Order! Let me get this straight. You saw 2 people pass by the gate on their way to the studios that day. One was the Steel Samurai, dragging his leg. The other was a boy who looked to be in about 2nd or 3rd grade.
Oh, yes, well, we see his type there every day. Can't stop him, can't catch him.
A boy in 2nd or 3rd grade? I assume it would be hard, if not impossible, for a young boy to wield the samurai spear.
Impossible, I think. It's quite heavy.
Right. As I said, I didn't pay him much mind. That's why I erased the data.
Nick, what's going on? I mean, the boy was there. Makes him a suspect. Yeah, they're already trying to unsuspect him.
This court will take a 5-minute recess. I want the defense and the prosecution to consider this new information. And no forgetting vital information this time.
October 18th, 11:08 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3.
Mr. Powers?
That was Phoenix. Mr. Powers?
Yes.
Tell me straight, were you really in your dressing room? You didn't go to the studio?
I didn't go to studio. I was sleeping, honest.
So who was the Steel Samurai in that security photo?
How should I know? Steel Samurai costume was off in the corner of the dressing room. Anyone could have walked in and taken it, really.
What? You should take better care of that stuff.
I couldn't imagine anyone would want to steal a Steel Samurai costume. So, where does this leave me?
It doesn't look good. You're the only likely suspect right now.
Nick, what are we going to do?
First, we play for more time. We'll start targeting someone else that could conceivably have done this.
Right.
And it'll take them so long to shoot us down that we can get another day.
Right.
But if we pick the wrong person, we might lose on the spot.
You don't sound very optimistic. I'm kind of giving him the old man voice. It's slipping into one conglomerate voice for every character.
I'm not optimistic at all, actually.
Hey, Nick, it's time.
Okay, let's go.
What does that mean? Please don't sigh like that.
It means it's difficult, sir.
Court will now reconvene for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. Mr. Edgeworth, will you present the prosecution's thoughts on this matter?
Prosecution's thoughts are simple. Nothing has changed. The other person who went to the studios was a boy of roughly 10 years of age. The photo we do have may not be hard evidence. But there's still no one else that could have committed this crime. I call for a verdict of guilty for the defendant, Mr. Will Powers. Defendant, Mr. Will Powers.
Very well, Mr. Wright, your thoughts?
Defense disagrees with the prosecution's claim. There is another person who could have committed this crime.
Order! Interesting. Let us hear who you have in mind. However, be aware that this court does not look kindly on accusing the innocent. If you accuse someone who is obviously innocent, you will be penalized.
Right. Great. As if the stakes weren't high enough.
So, who was this person other than Mr. Powers that could have committed murder?
Oh no. Okay, so grade school boy, I'm gonna say is not a good pick. Now the thing is here, security lady? Possibly. Assistant girl. I can't tell if the game wants me to pick the assistant girl, even though I don't think she actually did it. I'm gonna go. Can I really bring her into it? Well, let's see what happens. It was the assistant. The Steel Samurai costume was in his dressing room. She stole it, and in doing so, she became the Steel Samurai.
So you're saying the Steel Samurai in the picture is really the assistant?
That's correct, Your Honor. If you're serious, you've got guts, Mr. Wright. Remember the photo? Wasn't the Steel Samurai a little lame? He was dragging his foot.
Oh, bad feeling time.
Remember the testimony concerning Powers' injury?
Powers and poor Hammer were at the run-through, owing me.
What about the assistant?
Oh, her. She was cleaning up backdrops, I think. She didn't know about Powers' ankle.
The assistant knew nothing of Mr. Powers' injury. She could look the Steel Samurai look with that costume. But she couldn't walk the Steel Samurai walk. She wouldn't have limped. Kinda takes the legs out from under that case.
Mr. Wright, afraid I have to penalize you as I warned.
Damn it. Nobody knows. Trouble I've seen. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Nobody knows my sorrows.
May we move on, Mr. Wright?
This fight isn't over yet. If you would, Your Honor, one more chance, please.
Very well, go ahead. So who is this person other than Mr. Powers that could have committed murder? I'll say security lady.
It was the security lady, Wendy Oldbag.
But who?
The Steel Samurai is dragging his leg in this picture. That means whoever was in the suit knew about that morning's injury. Maybe because they'd been watching the action scene run through. There was only one person other than Powers and Hammer who knew about the injury. The security lady, Oldbag.
What? Whippersnapper?
She throws that word whippersnapper around like it's some big diss.
Order! Order! Is this true, Oldbag?
Oldbag? That's Miss Oldbag to you.
Miss Oldbag was standing guard alone at the main gate. She was by herself. In other words, she has no alibi. She could have briefly left her post to steal the Steel Samurai's costume. Then slipped into Studio 1, the scene of the murder.
Why would she go through the trouble wearing the Steel Samurai costume?
Simple, Your Honor. She knew the camera at the gate would take her picture. If she was in his costume, she could point the finger at Mr. Powers.
I see. Excellent deductive reasoning, Mr. Wright.
Oh yeah, right here. Sherlock Holmes 2, baby. That's odd. Isn't this the part where Edgeworth pounces? Doesn't he usually jump up with an objection and some new damning evidence?
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, does the prosecution have an opinion on this matter?
The prosecution has no meaningful objections at this time.
But what? What's that supposed to mean? Oh, so you all think I did it? Is that it? Edgy boy, don't just sit there, do something.
What's my move? Maybe now's my chance to take this the whole way. Give Granny a break. Go further, go! The very same reasoning that makes Mr. Powers a suspect in this case can be used to cast doubt on Miss Oldbag's actions on that day.
But why would I do something so horrible to poor Hammer?
You forget that Mr. Powers lacks a clear motive, too.
Indeed.
I did it. Windbag is one of the suspects. No hard feelings. I hope.
Wait just a minute. What about the other person who went to the studio? The boy, the one whose photo I erased.
He's only a grade schooler, though. As you said, 2nd or 3rd grade, was it?
That doesn't matter. When I was that age, I could be my whole man in 10 seconds, tops.
Your thoughts, Mr. Wright?
The boy's not the killer.
What? How can you be so sure? Oh, or is it to be nice to kids and mean to your elders day? Whippersnapper?
I have proof.
Proof?
Indeed. Then let's see this proof, Mr. Wright. You have proof that shows the boy could not have committed this murder.
I'm gonna guess it's a spear? Then? Right? I mean, that's the only thing I... Your Honor, the murder weapon was a samurai spear. That very spear is shown here in this photo. How could the boy have taken the spear? It's impossible.
I see. Well, would the witness care to comment on this?
Windbag, speechless. It's gotta be a first.
Very well. This court will suspend proceedings on the current trial for today. Mr. Edgeworth, please find out more about your witness, Miss Windy. What was her name?
Something Oldbag, Your Honor.
Then the prosecution will look further into this old bag before we continue. That is all. This court is adjourned.
Oh, wait a second. I'm not going to just sit here while you run off barking up the wrong tree. Me? I'm talking.
Oh, great. Stop the presses. The Windbag wants to talk.
Miss Oldbag, what is this all about? Have you omitted something from your testimony?
Actually, if you must know, there's something I was told not to talk about.
Not to talk about? By whom? Huh. You mean it wasn't Edgeworth who told her not to talk?
Oh, well, testify.
The Global Studios wanted me to keep quiet about something. There were some other people at the studios on the day of the murder. They said they had nothing to do with it, see? So they told me to just pretend they hadn't been at the studios that day. But if you're going to go accusing me, I'm not letting them get away scot-free.
Miss Oldbag, this is crucial information. Why did you keep this from the court until now?
Ain't you been listening? They told me to shut my trap, and I always do what I'm told.
No, this isn't a bad dream, Your Honor. Witness the power of the old bag.
Mr. Wright, your cross-examination.
Global Studios wanted me to keep quiet about something. There were some other people at the studios on the day of the murder. Said they had nothing to do with it, see? Just pretend they hadn't been at the studios today. If you're going to go accusing me, okay, so... press that. Who were these people?
Well, the director and the producer, for starters.
The director? We should have known something was fishy. How could they have done a run-through of their action scene without a director? Of course.
Yes, well, I was surprised no one asked about it.
So, where were these people?
The director was in the employee area all morning for the run-through. He rejoined the producer around lunchtime, and they had a meeting after that.
Where?
Oh, in the Studio 2 trailer.
Studio 2? There was a Studio 2?
Well, if you look at the guide map, here it is. You go through the gate and all the way to the left. The path where the monkey's head was fallen over.
Or that was Phoenix. Shit.
Well, Mr. Wright, would you like to continue the cross-examination?
I think I've already asked all my questions, but...
Your Honor, we have learned there were others at Global Studios on the day in question. Director and the producer and, some bigwigs were all present. Yet, as we stand here, they have not been questioned. I hold that it is impossible to declare a verdict on the defendant, Mr. Powers. Court acknowledges the defense's point. Prosecution will gather more information about the witness, Miss Oldbag, and more information about these other people we have just been told of.
I understand, Your Honor.
This ends the day's proceedings in the trial of Mr. World Powers. Will, I said, not world. That is all. This court is adjourned.
October 18th, 1:04 p.m. District Court, Defendant, Lobby, number 3.
Thank you much, Mr. Wright. I was right to ask you to defend me.
Aw, really? It's nothing. Grin. Oh, or should I... We'll be going down to the studios to do more investigating. We have to find out more about this director and the producer. They'll be turning up in the next trial as witnesses for certain. So now's my chance to get material for the cross-examination. So, Nick, have we figured out just who it was in that Steel Samurai costume? No, Maya, were you not paying attention? Could it really have been old Windbag? What do you think, Mr. Powers?
I don't think it was her, really.
Neither do I, Nick.
Yeah, I know. Look,
I was just buying time back there. Someone had to be the bad guy for a bit to take the pressure off Mr. Oh my god, sorry. Take the pressure off Mr. Powers. Poor old Windbag. I feel kind of sorry for her. I don't. Well, she wasn't winning any points in there, with or without my accusation. Okay, let's get down to the studios. Right, we'll be back to visit you soon.
Thanks, guys.
To be continued. To be continued. Alright, since this is a good natural save point, we'll call it here. Especially because I've been just yawning to infinity. Clearly, I've been just sapped of all energy at the end of the week here. So, we'll call it a night a little early. I'm gonna say there should be streams this weekend, but not a night stream tomorrow. I've got things going on tomorrow night. So, stream probably, maybe not a super long one, but some kind of stream tomorrow afternoon for a bit. And then Sunday, I would imagine something slightly longer. I just don't know what yet. I don't know what exactly I'm doing this weekend as far as streams go. So, but I want to do stuff just tomorrow, just not during the night time. So it'll be like earlier in the day for sure, for at least a bit of something. And then Sunday, maybe I'll think of something. So, but yeah, as always, thank you so much for watching and sticking around, hanging out, watching the stream, watching the archive, however you watch, however you eat the shit out of these videos, however you enjoy me playing Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney the First. Apologies for technical difficulties there earlier in the stream. I know that was annoying to work through, and trust me, probably could have played for a bit longer if I wasn't having to deal with that, so that sucks, but yeah, it's fine. So we deal with it. I'll be back tomorrow during the day, something for a bit at least. Probably a low-key stream tomorrow. So probably not this, probably not Strangers of Paradise. We'll probably hit Strangers of Paradise on Sunday, I would have to bet. So yeah, until tomorrow day, enjoy the rest of your Friday night, and I'll see you another time. Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.